Get this black bitch out of my AP class. Brandon Hartwell grabs Madison Cooper by her hair and slams her face into the locker. The metal door dents from the impact. Blood explodes from her nose, spattering the white hallway tiles. He throws her down hard. Her research binder flies open, scattering 3 months of AP history work across the floor. Before she can move, Brandon's foot crushes her hand against the ground. Bones crack under his weight. Madison screams. He kicks her ribs. "You don't deserve to be here, scholarship trash." His friends film it all, laughing. 40 students circle them with phones raised. A teacher glances over, then keeps walking. Nobody intervenes. They just watch a 15-year-old girl get beaten unconscious while recording it for their Instagram stories. What would you do if this happened to you, and nobody helped? Monday, 2:48 p.m. 13 minutes until parent pickup. Madison stays on the floor for 30 seconds. Her hand throbs, her ribs scream. Blood drips from her nose onto white marble tiles. She pushes herself up slowly. The crowd backs away. She kneels and starts gathering papers with shaking hands. AP history research, civil rights movement timelines. 3 months of work now stained red. Nobody helps. Westbridge Academy charges $45,000 per year. The hallway smells like privilege and cruelty. Marble floors, oak walls, a bronze plaque by the entrance. Excellence through tradition since 1887. Madison is the only black student in advanced placement, full scholarship. Her locker was spray-painted last month. Diversity hire in red letters. 2 weeks ago, someone carved affirmative action bitch into the metal. She reported both times. Vice Principal Thornton said she was being too sensitive. Her phone buzzes, a text from Dad. "Picking you up today. Flight landed early. 3 o'clock sharp." She types back with her good hand. "Can't wait." Around her, students whisper and film. Someone starts a TikTok live stream. The viewer count climbs fast. She's still here? Why doesn't she just transfer? Probably faking for attention. Madison keeps collecting papers. Her hands steady now. She knows something they don't. In 13 minutes, everything changes. She stacks the blood-stained pages carefully, one sheet at a time. Her essay on systemic racism sits on top. The title is still readable. When Institutions Fail, a Case Study. She checks her watch. Black tactical band, digital face. Her father gave it to her last birthday. 12 minutes left. She picks up the last page, smooths it flat, adds it to the stack. Her movements are methodical, calm, like she's done this before, like she's prepared for exactly this moment. Because she has been. Brandon comes back with 5 friends, sons of power. Brandon's father owns 3 hospitals. Tyler Chen's mother is a state senator. Dylan Webb's dad runs a tech company worth $200 million. Jake Morrison's family donated the new science wing. Liam Rodriguez's grandfather sits on the school board. These boys have never been told no. "She's still here?" Brandon announces. "Thought trash took itself out." They form a wall around Madison. She stands now, holding her damaged binder. Blood drips onto the cover. Tyler steps forward. "How did you even get into AP? Your test scores must be garbage." "Affirmative action," Dylan says. "Lowering standards for everyone. My dad says students like her ruin Westbridge's reputation." Jake lifts his phone. "Let me get this on video." He frames the shot. Madison in center, blood on her face, boys surrounding her. "When the diversity hire thinks she belongs," Jake says into camera. He posts it immediately. Likes come fast. Brandon grabs a paper from Madison's binder. He reads aloud, mocking, "Systemic racism in American education, a case study." "Of course," he shows his friends. "Always playing victim, always complaining. Maybe if you studied instead of whining," Tyler starts. "You wouldn't need special treatment," Dylan finishes. They crowd closer. Madison can smell expensive cologne. Brandon's face is inches from hers. She doesn't look away. "Move," she says quietly. "Or what?" Brandon pushes her shoulder, not hard enough to knock her down, hard enough to show dominance. "What are you going to do?" Behind them, dozens of students watch. The live stream has hundreds of viewers. A teacher walks past, glances at the crowd, keeps walking. Westbridge's unspoken rule: don't interfere with students whose parents donate 6 figures. Madison checks her watch. 10 minutes, she whispers. "What?" Brandon leans in. "Nothing." Her voice is unnaturally calm. "Just keeping time." Tyler laughs. "Keeping time for what? Your dad to come cry to the principal?" "Something like that." Madison's lips barely move. More phones come out. The crowd grows. Everyone wants footage. Everyone wants to say they were there when the scholarship girl finally broke. But Madison doesn't break. She stands perfectly still, waiting. Brandon doesn't understand. Victims don't wait. They run, they cry, they collapse. Madison just watches him, like she's studying an insect. It makes him uncomfortable. 2:51 p.m. 9 minutes. You're freaking me out. Tyler shifts his weight. Why are you so calm? Madison doesn't answer. She bends down and gathers the rest of her papers. But she's not scrambling. She's organizing. Sorting by page number, straightening edges. This isn't victim behavior. I'm talking to you. Brandon kicks papers from her hands. Look at me. Madison looks up. Her eyes are completely dry. No tears, no fear, just cold patience. You're going to regret this, she says. The boys go silent. Is that a threat? Brandon starts recording. Everyone hear that? She just threatened me. His friends join in. So threatening, Dylan says. We should call security, Jake adds. Security won't help you. Madison stands with her reorganized binder. She checks her watch. 8 minutes. 8 minutes until what? Until my dad gets here. Brandon laughs. Your daddy's coming? What's he gonna do? Walk through that door. Madison points to the main entrance. Tyler snorts. And then what? Complain? Threaten to sue? He doesn't threaten. Madison's voice drops. He just acts. Cool story. Brandon crosses his arms. Your dad's probably some low-level enlisted guy who thinks his uniform matters here. He's Navy, Madison says. So? Dylan shrugs. Military rank means nothing at Westbridge. You'll see. Madison checks her watch. 7 minutes. The live stream passes 500 viewers. Someone comments, why is she so calm, though? Another, she's acting weird. A third, something's about to happen. Jake notices something on Madison's backpack, a small pin on the strap. Gold trident on black background. What's that? He points. Madison shifts the bag behind her. Nothing. Brandon grabs it and spins it around. Below the trident, small letters. The only easy day was yesterday. Military nerd stuff? Brandon mocks it. Madison stays quiet. She pulls out her phone. The case has a photo. A tall black man in military dress uniform. Rows of medals cover his chest. His hand rests on young Madison's shoulder. Tyler snatches the phone. This your dad? He looks basic. What's he gonna do, yell at us? He shows the photo to the group. They laugh. Someone screenshots it. They don't notice the details, the specific medals, the gold trident matching her pin, the insignia on his shoulder. Madison's watch vibrates. A message. 5 minutes, stay visible. She types back, main hallway, east entrance. Who are you texting? Dylan reaches for her wrist. She pulls away. My father. Telling him exactly where I am. Perfect. Brandon smirks. Can't wait to meet him. Maybe he'll explain why you think you belong here. He won't explain. Madison's voice is ice. He'll demonstrate. 2:55 p.m. 5 minutes. The boys don't understand why she's smiling. It's not a big smile, just a small curve at the corner of her mouth, like she knows a secret, like she's counting down to something they can't imagine. The main entrance is 30 feet away. 5 minutes feels like forever. Madison can wait. 2:54 p.m., 6 minutes remaining. Vice Principal Richard Thornton pushes through the crowd. White male, late 50s. His family name is engraved on a plaque in the library. He doesn't ask what happened. He looks at Madison and assumes. Miss Cooper. His voice carries authority. Are you causing disruption again? Again. The word hangs there. Madison touches her bleeding nose. Again. This is the first time you've seen anything. Don't be dramatic. Thornton glances at scattered papers. Looks like you had an accident with your binder. An accident. Madison's voice is flat. Is that what we're calling assault now? Assault? Thornton's eyebrows rise. He turns to Brandon. Did you see what happened? Brandon's face becomes innocent. She tripped, sir. We tried to help, but she got aggressive. That's a lie, Madison says. Watch your tone, young lady. Thornton's voice sharpens. Brandon's father is on the hospital board. I've known this family for 20 years. The message is clear. Brandon's family matters. Madison's doesn't. Tyler steps forward. She's been hostile all day, Mr. Thornton. We're actually concerned. Hostile how? Madison can't believe this. You've been making people uncomfortable with constant discussions about race, Thornton says. Your teachers have mentioned it. This essay, for example. He picks up her blood-stained paper. Systemic racism in education. Very divisive. It's my AP history assignment. Perhaps AP classes create too much stress for you. Thornton's voice softens like he's being kind. I've been thinking you might be more comfortable in regular track. Less pressure. More appropriate to your background. Your background. Code for race. Madison's jaw tightens. My GPA is 3.9. I scored 98th percentile on placement tests. Test scores don't measure everything. Thornton waves dismissively. Social fit matters at Westbridge. You need to consider whether this environment suits you. My needs are to learn without being attacked. That's enough. Thornton's patience ends. You need to come to my office now. I'm waiting for my father. He's 4 minutes away. Your father can meet us in my office. I'll wait here. Thornton's hand moves toward her arm, not grabbing, just gesturing. But the intent is clear. A security guard appears. James Patterson, white male, retired police officer, 15 years at Westbridge. Need assistance, Mr. Thornton? Patterson's hand rests on his belt. Miss Cooper is being uncooperative. Patterson looks at Madison's bloody face, her injured hand, the papers around her. He doesn't ask if she needs medical attention. He asks, you refusing to follow instructions? I'm waiting for my parent, Madison says carefully, which is my right. You're causing a disturbance. Around them, dozens of students film. The live stream has over 1,000 viewers. 2:56 p.m., 4 minutes, Jake's TikTok video explodes. In 5 minutes, it hits 10,000 views. The algorithm loves conflict. Comments appear faster than anyone can read. Why is she even at a school like that? Affirmative action equals lower standards. Feel bad for real students who earned their spots. But other voices push back. Y'all really justifying assault? She's bleeding and they're calling her the problem? This is literally hate crime on camera. The school's official Instagram gets tagged hundreds of times. Westbridge's social media manager, working from home, sees notifications. Her phone won't stop buzzing. She calls Principal Elizabeth Hayes, who's at an education conference 2 hours away. We have a situation. Hayes pulls up the video. She watches Brandon shove Madison, watches the blood, watches Thornton arrive, and immediately blame Madison. Oh my God! Hayes stands from the conference table. Who's handling this? Thornton. Tell him to wait. Don't do anything until I get there. He's already confronting her. Hayes is already grabbing her coat. Call him now. Tell him to back off. But the message doesn't reach Thornton in time. He doesn't check his phone. He's too focused on maintaining order, on protecting the Hartwell family, on making sure this scholarship student learns her place. Madison watches it unfold. The phones, the live stream counts climbing, the comments section becoming a war zone. She checks her watch. 3 minutes. Her father taught her something important. Documentation beats emotion. Evidence beats testimony. When you're outnumbered and outmatched, you don't fight with fists. You fight with proof. She's been recording audio on her phone since Brandon first grabbed her. Everything is saved. Thornton's words about her background, the security guard's assumption of guilt, Brandon's lies, all captured. Her phone buzzes, a text from Dad. Parking now, walking in 2 minutes. She types back, they're trying to remove me, Thornton plus security. His response is immediate. Don't move, I'm coming. The live stream passes 1,500 viewers. Someone shares it to Twitter. It gets retweeted by an education activist account with 200,000 followers. Caption: this is what systemic racism in private schools looks like. Within minutes, Westbridge Academy is trending locally. School board members start getting calls, parents asking what's happening, alumni demanding explanations. And Madison just stands there, bleeding, waiting. 2 minutes left, 2:58 p.m., 2 minutes. Miss Cooper, I'm not asking again. Thornton's voice hardens. You're coming to my office. I'm waiting for my father. You can wait there. I'll wait here. Thornton nods to Patterson. The security guard steps forward. His hand touches Madison's shoulder. Firm grip, not violent, but unmistakable. Madison doesn't resist, but she speaks clearly, loud enough for every phone to capture. You're touching me without consent. You're on camera. Multiple cameras. Remove your hand. Patterson hesitates. He looks at Thornton. She's being removed for disruption, Thornton says. Proceed. But something shifts in the crowd. Some students look uncomfortable. A few lower their phones. One girl whispers, "Why is she so calm?" Another, "This feels wrong." The live stream comments split. They're literally assaulting her again. She asked him not to touch her. Where are the adults who actually help kids? Madison pulls out her phone. She makes one call. Speaker on. Everyone can hear. It rings once. A deep voice answers immediately. Princess, I'm walking in now. 30 seconds. The voice has weight to it. Command. The kind of voice that makes people stand straighter without thinking. Tyler laughs nervously. Ooh, Daddy's coming. So scary. But the voice continues. Are you safe? Thornton and security are trying to remove me from the hallway, Madison says. I told them I'm waiting for you. Stay exactly where you are. The voice isn't loud, but it's absolute. I'll handle it. Yes, sir. She ends the call. Thornton's face flushes red. Your father doesn't give orders in my school. You'll want to rethink that, Madison says. The main entrance is 30 feet away. Everyone hears the door alarm beep. Someone's coming in. Heavy footsteps echo in the marble hallway. Military cadence, measured, purposeful. The crowd parts instinctively. Brandon turns toward the sound. His smirk fades. The footsteps stop. Everyone turns. Vice Principal Thornton's face goes pale. In the entrance stands a man in full Navy dress uniform. Tall, broad-shouldered, ribbons cover his chest. Silver Star, Bronze Star, multiple service medals. The gold trident insignia gleams. But he's not alone. To his left, a woman in a sharp business suit carrying a leather folder. To his right, a man with credentials hanging from his neck. The letters are visible, Doe DA. The three of them stand there, silent, assessing. The man in uniform scans the hallway with tactical precision. He sees the crowd, the phones, the live stream. He sees Thornton's hand still gesturing toward Madison. He sees Patterson's grip on his daughter's shoulder. His eyes move to Madison. The blood on her face, her swollen hand, the torn papers at her feet. His expression doesn't change, but something in the air shifts. Like the moment before lightning strikes. He doesn't speak yet. He doesn't need to. Patterson's hand drops from Madison's shoulder. Thornton takes an involuntary step back. Brandon's phone slips in his sweaty palm. The live stream viewer count hits 2,000. Everyone watching, everyone waiting. Madison's father takes one step forward, then another, walking toward his daughter like he's crossing a battlefield, and everyone else is frozen. 3 p.m. Commander James Cooper stands 6'3". His Navy dress uniform is immaculate. White shirt, dark jacket, rows of ribbons across his chest tell stories most people can't read, but some can. A student in the back whispers, "That's a Silver Star." Another, "And Bronze Star with Valor." The trident on his chest catches the light. Navy SEAL. The pin Madison wears on her backpack isn't memorabilia, it's legacy. James doesn't rush. He walks at measured pace, each step deliberate. He's crossed battlefields in Fallujah and Kandahar. A prep school hallway doesn't intimidate him. The woman beside him matches his pace. Captain Sarah Martinez, Navy JAG Corps. Her uniform is equally pristine. The leather folder in her hands is thick, very thick. The third person is civilian, Dr. Raymond Torres. His DODEA credentials swing from a lanyard, Department of Defense Education Activity. He carries a tablet and his own folder. They reach Madison. James stops in front of her. His hand comes up gently to her face. He examines her bloody nose, her split lip. His jaw tightens, but his voice stays calm. "Princess, you okay?" "Yes, sir." Madison's voice cracks slightly. First sign of emotion. "I documented everything." "I know you did." Pride flashes in his eyes. He turns to face Thornton. "Vice Principal Thornton, I'm Commander James Cooper, United States Navy. This is my daughter." Thornton tries to recover his authority. "Sir, this is a school matter. We were just—" "You were assaulting my child." James's voice doesn't rise, doesn't need to. "On camera, with multiple witnesses. I wasn't—" "Your security guard had his hands on her without consent. You threatened to forcibly remove her from a public space. She's a minor who explicitly stated she was waiting for her parent." James's words are precise, legal. "Would you like to continue that sentence, or would you like to listen?" Thornton's mouth opens, closes. He looks at Patterson, who's gone pale. The students are dead silent. Phones still recording, but nobody's laughing now. The energy has completely shifted. Brandon stands frozen. Tyler won't meet anyone's eyes. Dylan has moved to the back of the group. Jake's live stream has 3,000 viewers now. The comments are flying. "Oh shit, that's a SEAL. This just got real. Those medals don't lie." James hasn't raised his voice once. He doesn't need to. His presence commands the space. Captain Martinez steps forward. Martinez's voice is crisp, professional, courtroom trained. I'm Captain Sarah Martinez, Judge Advocate General's Corps, United States Navy. I'm here in both my military capacity and as legal counsel for the Cooper family. She opens her leather folder. Inside are printed documents, photographs, timestamps, everything organized with military precision. Commander Cooper has documented 17 separate incidents of racial harassment against his daughter over the past 6 months. She pulls out a stapled report, all of which were reported to school administration, none of which received adequate response. Thornton's face drains of color. I don't know what you're talking about. October 15th. Martinez reads from the file. Madison reported her locker vandalized with spray paint reading Diversity Hire. She submitted a written complaint to your office. You filed it under pranks. She flips a page. October 29th. Madison reported being excluded from study groups and called racial slurs by 3 students. You told her she was being too sensitive. Another page. November 7th. Someone carved affirmative action bitch into her locker. She provided photos. You suggested she was damaging school property for attention. That's not, I didn't, Thornton stammers. You signed the incident reports. Martinez holds them up. Your signature, your handwriting, your dismissals. She turns to Torres. He steps forward with his tablet. Today's incident brings us to 18. Martinez's voice gets colder, which means we've crossed the threshold for federal investigation under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act. Dr. Torres pulls up a video on his tablet. It's Jake's TikTok, the one showing Brandon attacking Madison. Sound on. Everyone can hear the racial slur, see the assault, watch the blood. This video has been viewed over 15,000 times in the last 30 minutes, Torres says. It's currently trending on 3 social media platforms. Most importantly, it was emailed to my office at the Department of Defense Education Activity at 2:45 this afternoon. He looks at Thornton. 15 minutes before Commander Cooper arrived. He filed the formal complaint through military channels 2 months ago. My team has been conducting a quiet review of Westbridge Academy since then. The hallway is completely silent. Even the live stream comments have slowed as people process what they're hearing. Madison's father didn't just show up, he built a case for 2 months. While his daughter endured harassment, he was documenting, filing paperwork, engaging the federal government. Brandon's face is white. Your dad is what? James turns to him. His voice is quiet, dangerous. Going to make this go away? Call his lawyers? Donate to the building fund? He steps closer to Brandon, not threatening, just present. Son, your dad's lawyers don't outrank federal civil rights investigators, and his money doesn't mean anything to the Department of Defense. Brandon takes a step back. 3:05 p.m. Thornton tries one more time to regain control. Commander, I understand you're upset. I'm sure we can discuss this privately in my office. No. James's response is immediate. Privacy is what allowed this to continue. My daughter was publicly humiliated. We're addressing this publicly. Torres clears his throat. Mr. Thornton, when was the last time you reviewed Westbridge's federal funding sources? I don't handle the financial side. Then let me educate you. Torres taps his tablet. Numbers appear on screen. Westbridge Academy currently receives $2.3 million annually from the Department of Defense. The number lands like a bomb. That's 18% of your operating budget, Torres continues. This funding is designated for educating military dependents. You currently have 17 students enrolled whose parents serve in the United States Armed Forces. Thornton's eyes widen. I wasn't aware. You weren't aware that nearly 1/5 of your budget comes from DOD? Torres's voice sharpens. Or you weren't aware that funding is conditional? He swipes to another screen. Federal funding for military-dependent education requires strict compliance with anti-discrimination policies. Schools must maintain safe learning environments for all military children. They must investigate and address complaints promptly and thoroughly. Torres looks up. Madison Cooper filed complaints 17 times in 6 months. 17 documented incidents ignored by your administration. This doesn't meet the threshold for prompt and thorough. Martinez picks up the thread. My investigation revealed a pattern, not just with Madison, with all 17 military students at Westbridge. She pulls out another document. We surveyed them confidentially. 89% report feeling unwelcome or treated differently than civilian students. All 17 reported witnessing or experiencing some form of discrimination. 34 formal complaints filed in the last 18 months. 34 complaints. James repeats slowly. From 17 students. That's 2 complaints per student, and your administration dismissed every single one. Thornton looks like he might be sick. Torres delivers the final blow. As of today, Westbridge Academy is under federal review. Pending the outcome of that review, your DoD funding is frozen. If we determine systemic failure to protect military dependents, that funding will be permanently revoked. The math is simple. $2.3 million. Gone. That means faculty cuts, program eliminations, tuition increases. The school board wasn't informed of this review, Torres adds, because we wanted to see how your administration responded to incidents without outside pressure. Today's events answer that question definitively. Martinez looks at the students still filming. Let me be clear for everyone watching. This isn't about one incident. This is about institutional failure, a pattern of discrimination that the administration knew about and chose to ignore. She turns back to Thornton. You knew Madison was being harassed. You had documentation. You had photo evidence. You had witness statements, and you did nothing. Worse than nothing. You blamed her. James steps forward one more time. His voice is quiet, but everyone hears it. My daughter isn't just a Navy dependent. She's a straight-A student who scored in the 98th percentile on placement exams. She earned her spot in AP classes through merit, through hard work. His eyes move from Thornton to Brandon to the crowd. But you decided what she was worth the moment you saw her skin color. You decided she didn't belong. You decided her complaints didn't matter. He pauses. Now you'll answer to the Department of Education, the Department of Defense, your school board, and if necessary, a federal civil rights lawsuit. The hallway is frozen. Brandon has tears in his eyes. Tyler is shaking. Dylan looks like he wants to disappear. Patterson has backed away completely. Thornton can't speak. His career is over and he knows it. The live stream hits 5,000 viewers. Nobody moves. 3:45 p.m. Emergency session convened. The Westbridge Academy boardroom smells like old leather and older money. Oil paintings of founders line the walls. Men in suits from centuries past stare down with stern faces. 11 board members sit around a mahogany table. Most arrived within 30 minutes of the emergency call. Some still wear golf clothes. Others came straight from Manhattan offices. Catherine Hartwell sits near the head of the table. Brandon's mother. Plastic surgery and Pilates. Diamond earrings that cost more than most cars. Her face is tight with barely controlled rage. Principal Elizabeth Hayes stands at the front. She drove 2 hours at dangerous speeds to get here. She's still wearing her conference lanyard. Commander Cooper sits across from the board. Captain Martinez to his left. Dr. Torres to his right. And Madison sits beside her father. James insisted she be present. She has every right to hear this, he said when a board member objected. Torres connects his tablet to the projection screen. Numbers fill the wall. Current DoD funding to Westbridge Academy, $2,347,000 annually. That represents 18.3% of your operating budget. He clicks to the next slide. Federal investigation findings. 34 formal complaints of discrimination filed by military dependents over 18 months. 0 complaints resulted in disciplinary action. 0 complaints triggered policy reviews. Click. Legal exposure under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act. Estimated damages between $8 and $12 million if the Cooper family pursues civil litigation. Catherine Hartwell interrupts. This is extortion. Martinez doesn't look up from her notes. Mrs. Hartwell, extortion is demanding money through threats. We're informing you of legal consequences for civil rights violations. There's a difference. Torres continues. The Connecticut Human Rights Commission was notified this morning. They've opened a separate state-level investigation. That process is independent of federal review. Click. A new slide appears. Financial projections. If DoD funding is revoked, Westbridge will need to make the following cuts to maintain current operations. 8 faculty positions eliminated. 2 sports programs discontinued. The planned science lab renovation canceled. AP course offerings reduced by 30%. The board members shift uncomfortably. One clears his throat. Can we appeal the funding decision? Yes, Torres says. Appeals take 18 to 24 months, during which time the funding remains frozen. Can Westbridge operate for 2 years without this revenue? Silence. Hayes speaks for the first time. No, we cannot. We'd need to raise tuition by $6,000 per student immediately. We'd lose enrollment. It would create a downward spiral. Martinez opens her folder. Beyond finances, there's reputational damage. Today's incident has been viewed over 50,000 times across social media platforms. The hashtag Westbridge Racism is trending in Connecticut and New York. She places printouts on the table, screenshots of comments, news articles already being written, think pieces about privilege and private schools. 5 families have withdrawn applications for next year's incoming class. These are families who've been Westbridge legacy admits for generations. They're choosing other schools because they've seen how this administration handles discrimination. A board member Madison doesn't recognize speaks up. What about our largest donors? Dylan, your single largest annual contributor, called my office 1 hour ago. Hayes' voice is strained. He donates $500,000 per year. He's a black entrepreneur who made his fortune in biotech. He's suspending all contributions pending resolution of this matter. Catherine Hartwell stands. This is absurd. My son is being vilified for a schoolyard incident. Your son committed assault, James says quietly. On camera, using a racial slur. That's not a schoolyard incident, that's a hate crime. He's 17 years old. My daughter is 15. James's voice doesn't rise. And she's been enduring this for 6 months while adults did nothing. James stands. The room's attention shifts to him completely. I don't want your money. His voice is calm, absolute. I want systemic change. My daughter deserves to learn without fear. Every child in this building deserves that. He nods to Martinez. She distributes printed packets to each board member. 12 pages, professionally bound, tab dividers for each section. These are our terms, James says. Non-negotiable conditions for us not to pursue federal civil rights litigation. The board members flip through the pages. Their faces grow increasingly pale. Immediate actions within 48 hours, Martinez reads aloud. 1. Vice Principal Richard Thornton resigns or is terminated. 2. Public apology issued by school administration. 3. Brandon Hartwell suspended pending formal disciplinary hearing. 4. All students who participated in today's assault face academic consequences, including removal from honors track for 1 semester. Catherine Hartwell slams her hand on the table. You cannot punish my son. Your son is on video committing assault, Martinez continues without pausing. He's fortunate we're not pressing criminal charges. Yet, she continues reading. 30-day implementations, mandatory anti-bias training for all faculty, 8 hours, external consultants, non-negotiable attendance, revised discrimination reporting system with third-party oversight, diversify hiring to achieve minimum 30% BIPOC faculty within 18 months. You currently have 7%. A board member interrupts. 30% is the demographic reality of Connecticut, Torres finishes. It's not a quota. It's a reflection of the community you claim to serve, Martinez reads on. 90-day structural changes, anonymous bias reporting application for students, monthly equity audits with discipline data disaggregated by race, zero-tolerance policy for verified incidents of discrimination. 1 strike and you're under investigation. 2 strikes and you're expelled. No exceptions for legacy families or major donors. Several board members shift uncomfortably at that last part. Scholarship fund of $100,000 annually for underrepresented students, Martinez continues. 100,000? A board member looks shocked. Dr. Williams alone donated $500,000 per year, Hayes reminds them quietly. 100,000 is 20% of what we just lost, and it's an investment in the diversity this school desperately needs. Martinez reaches the final page. Long-term accountability measures, annual external equity reviews with public reporting, no internal whitewashing, board diversity requirement of minimum 4 BIPOC members. You currently have 1. Comprehensive curriculum review to integrate racial justice education across all subjects. She closes the packet. These terms are designed to create lasting institutional change, not just public relations, not just damage control, actual transformation of how Westbridge operates. James steps forward. You have a choice. Comply fully and we don't file suit. We work with you to rebuild. We allow Westbridge to become a model for how schools can transform after crisis. His voice hardens slightly. or refuse, and we proceed with litigation. The Department of Defense pulls funding within 60 days. The Connecticut Human Rights Commission pursues state charges, and we file federal civil rights violations in district court. He pauses. Discovery alone will destroy you. Every email, every dismissed complaint, every closed-door conversation about keeping certain students out. It will all become public record. The board members look at each other. Some stare at the table. Others flip through the terms again. Catherine Hartwell stands. I vote no. This is coercion. My family will not be— Your family filmed themselves committing a hate crime, James interrupts. What happens next is your choice, but it won't be kept quiet. That option ended when your son posted to social media. 4:30 p.m. Principal Hayes calls for a vote. All in favor of accepting the terms as presented? Hands rise slowly. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9. Catherine Hartwell sits with her arms crossed. One other board member, a real estate developer whose daughter is friends with Brandon, also votes no 9-2. The terms pass. Hayes turns to James. We accept. All conditions. Full compliance. Catherine Hartwell grabs her purse and storms out. The door slams behind her. Hayes continues. I want to say something. I was unaware of the extent of these complaints. That's not an excuse. It's a failure. Administrative structure allowed Thornton to handle discipline without oversight. That structure failed Madison. It failed every military student here. It failed every marginalized student who needed protection. She looks directly at Madison. I failed you. Every adult in this building failed you. That changes today. I take full responsibility. I will personally oversee implementation of every term in this agreement. You have my word. Madison nods slightly. She doesn't speak. Doesn't need to. Hayes pulls out her phone. Thornton will be notified tonight that his employment is terminated effective immediately. His office will be locked within the hour. His access to all school systems revoked. She makes a call. Security answers. Lock Vice Principal Thornton's office. Change the access codes. He's no longer employed here. Another call. This one to Catherine Hartwell's cell. Mrs. Hartwell, this is Principal Hayes. Brandon is suspended for the remainder of the semester pending a full disciplinary hearing. You'll receive official notification by email within the hour. His transcript will reflect the suspension. She hangs up without waiting for a response. Torres taps his tablet. I'll notify the Department of Defense that Westbridge is cooperating fully with federal requirements. The funding freeze will remain in place pending 90-day review. If progress is satisfactory, funding will be restored. Martinez adds, We'll want quarterly meetings to review implementation. Commander Cooper and I will attend personally. This isn't a one-time intervention. This is ongoing accountability. Hayes nods. Understood. We'll establish a timeline and benchmarks for every requirement. James stands. He extends his hand to Hayes. She shakes it. Principal Hayes, I believe you want to do the right thing. Prove it. Make Westbridge a place where every child can learn safely. I will, Hayes says. You have my word. James turns to Madison. You ready to go home, Princess? Yes, sir. They walk toward the door. Martinez and Torres follow. As they reach the hallway, Hayes calls out, Madison? Madison turns. I'm sorry. Truly sorry. You deserve better from all of us. Madison looks at her for a long moment. Then she says, Don't apologize to me. Fix it for the students who come after me. She walks out with her father. Behind them, the board members sit in stunned silence. In 48 hours, Westbridge Academy will be a different place. Whether it's better depends entirely on what happens next. Day 1, Tuesday. Vice Principal Thornton's office is dark, the nameplate removed. His 23 years at Westbridge ended with one phone call and a severance package that includes a non-disclosure agreement. He doesn't fight it. He knows what's on those videos. Brandon Hartwell doesn't return to school. His parents meet with the board. The decision is quick. Brandon will finish junior year at a private academy in Massachusetts, far from cameras, far from consequences. His public apology is posted to the school website. 3 paragraphs, clearly lawyer-written. Words like regret and poor judgment, but never racism or assault. Madison reads it once, doesn't comment. Actions matter more than words. She returns Tuesday morning. Her father drives her, walks her to the entrance, doesn't leave until she's inside. The hallway goes quiet when she enters. Some students stare, others look away. Then something unexpected happens. A girl from AP History starts clapping. Slow at first, then faster. 3 more join, then 10, then 20. Not everyone, maybe 40%. But it's something. Acknowledgement, support. Proof that not everyone sided with Brandon. Some students still glare. Whisper when she passes. Change isn't instant. But it's different. The open cruelty has retreated. Fear of consequences works. Day 2, Wednesday emergency assembly. Every student required. Principal Hayes stands at the podium. Behind her on screen, the video, Jake's TikTok, the assault, the blood, Thornton's response. Hayes doesn't hide from shame. "This is who we were," she says. "This is what we allowed. This is what happened when adults failed." She introduces Dr. Keisha Williams, Black woman, PhD in education, Westbridge's new Director of Student Equity. Dr. Williams speaks for 30 minutes, no sugarcoating. She names what happened: racism, assault, institutional failure. "Some of you are uncomfortable right now," Dr. Williams says. "Good. Discomfort means growth. Change requires confronting what we've ignored." First mandatory bias training happens that afternoon. Some students engage seriously. Others sit with arms crossed, resistant. But they're there. They're listening. It's a start. Day 3, Thursday. The anonymous reporting app goes live. Students can report bias without revealing identity. Third-party monitoring. Immediate response protocol. Within 6 hours, 23 reports filed. The floodgates open. Not just racial issues. Homophobia, anti-Semitism, sexual harassment, classism, ableism. The reports reveal scope. Westbridge wasn't just failing Madison, it was failing dozens of students. Hayes reads every report that evening. She doesn't sleep. By morning, she understands the full scale of what they've ignored. Local news covers the story. Private school faces reckoning after viral assault video. The headline spreads. Other schools watch. Some with fear, others with curiosity. Can institutions actually change? Westbridge will find out. Week 1, 2. Faculty training external consultants arrive from Teaching Tolerance, a Southern Poverty Law Center program. 8-hour workshops, mandatory attendance, no exceptions. Training covers unconscious bias, microaggressions, restorative justice, trauma-informed teaching, role-playing exercises, uncomfortable conversations, real scenarios from Westbridge's own history. 3 teachers resign rather than participate. 1 submits his letter during lunch, 2 others quit by week's end. Principal Hayes accepts their resignations immediately. If you're unwilling to learn, you shouldn't be teaching. Post-training surveys show divided responses. 78% rate it eye-opening. 15% call it unnecessary. 7% find it offensive. The 7% are watched carefully going forward. New hires replace those who left. The search prioritizes diversity. 2 Black teachers, 1 Latina, all highly qualified, all committed to equity. Week 2, 3, Curriculum Changes Curriculum Review Committee works overtime. AP History expands to include more diverse perspectives, not just during Black History Month, integrated throughout the year. English Department adds Toni Morrison, James Baldwin, Maya Angelou. Classic literature remains, but the canon expands. Students read voices reflecting America's actual diversity. Science classes address historical racism in medicine. Tuskegee experiments. Henrietta Lacks, eugenics. How bias shaped research and harmed communities. Even math word problems change. Names become more diverse. Cultural contexts vary. Small shifts signaling who belongs. History teacher creates new unit. Documentation as resistance. Students study how marginalized groups used evidence to fight injustice. Photos from civil rights era. Videos from Black Lives Matter, court documents from landmark cases, Madison guest lectures, shows her documentation methods, timestamps, screenshots, written complaints, how she built an undeniable case. Students take notes. Some look inspired, others uncomfortable. All are learning. Week 3, 4, Structural Reforms Student Equity Council forms, 12 students elected by peers. Monthly meetings with administration. Real input on policy. Madison is elected as founding member. Not president. She serves as secretary, takes detailed notes, ensures accountability. First council meeting addresses discipline disparities. Dr. Williams presents data. Black students disciplined at 4 times the rate of white students for identical infractions. 4 times. The numbers don't lie. Council demands policy review. Hayes agrees immediately. By month's end, new discipline matrix implemented. Clear guidelines, objective criteria, no more subjective calls that fall harder on students of color. Week 4, Physical changes, hallways transform. New murals celebrating diverse changemakers. Scientists, artists, leaders, activists. Library expands diverse voices section from one shelf to entire corner. New books arrive weekly. Faculty photos now include pronouns and languages spoken, small details creating belonging. Safe space stickers appear on doors, teachers who completed advanced ally training. Madison walks past a mural of Ida B. Wells. Quote underneath, "The way to right wrongs is to turn the light of truth upon them." She stops, reads it twice, thinks about documentation, evidence, truth. That's how you win. Madison didn't win with money. Her family isn't wealthy. Commander Cooper's military salary is public record. It doesn't compete with hospital CEOs or tech executives. She didn't win through social status. No family name on donor plaques. No legacy connections. She won through documentation. Every incident recorded, every complaint filed, every response documented. 6 months of evidence that couldn't be denied. Her father taught her patience is power. That systems have rules, that rules become weapons if you know how to use them. Brandon had money and status, parents who expected problems to disappear, teachers who looked away, a school that protected him. Madison had proof. The contrast is stark. Brandon at his new school, reputation following him. Social media doesn't forget. His name links to the assault video. It will follow him to college applications, job interviews. Madison remains at Westbridge, respected, not because people fear her father, because she earned it through grace under pressure. Her AP history project, the one Brandon destroyed, she rewrote, better than before, more detailed, more personal. She added a section about her own experience, highest grade in class. Teacher nominates it for state competition. It wins second place and scholarship money. 3 younger students of color join honors programs next semester. They cite Madison as inspiration. Diversity in advanced classes increases 27% within 1 year. James gives an interview to local newspaper. Reporter asks about his military service. "I've been in combat," James says. "Faced enemy fire in dangerous places. But watching my daughter face racism in a place that should nurture her was harder." He pauses. "She taught me something. The strongest weapon isn't violence, it's integrity." Madison never compromised her dignity. Not when they mocked her, not when they hurt her, not when everyone told her to be quiet. She refused. The reporter writes it down. Quote becomes headline, Navy SEAL dad, daughter's courage surpasses combat veterans. Madison reads it, shakes her head, smiles. She's not a hero. She's a student who refused to accept injustice. Sometimes that's enough. March 2025, 6 months post-incident. The numbers tell the story. Discrimination reports. From 34 ignored complaints over 18 months to 147 reports filed and addressed in 6 months. The system is working. Students trust it now. Resolution rate. 89% of reports resolved within 2 weeks. Not perfect, but exponentially better than 0. Discipline disparity. Gap reduced from 4 times to 1.8 times. Still work to do, but progress is measurable. Real. Faculty diversity. From 7% to 19% BIPOC teachers, still working toward 30% goal. New hires continue prioritizing qualified diverse candidates. Student satisfaction. BIPOC students reporting they feel safe increased from 34% to 71%, more than doubled in 6 months. These aren't just numbers. They represent real change, real safety, real belonging. National attention follows. Education Week features Westbridge in a cover story. How private schools can transform after crisis. 3 other private schools in Connecticut request consultations. They want to implement similar programs before they face their own reckoning. The Department of Defense uses Westbridge as case study. Proactive response to civil rights complaints. Training materials for administrators at schools receiving military funding. Dr. Torres recommends DoD funding be restored. The review shows good faith effort, genuine commitment. Hayes and Dr. Williams have delivered on every promise. The funding returns, even increases slightly. Recognition of the hard work. Madison receives her college acceptance letters in April. Yale, early admission, 38% acceptance rate. She earned it. Her essay topic, How Documentation Defeats Discrimination. Admissions officers call it one of the most powerful essays they've read. Scholarship offers arrive from multiple organizations, military family foundations, civil rights groups, educational equity nonprofits. But Madison chooses to stay at Westbridge through graduation. "I want to see this through," she tells her father. "I want to make sure the changes stick." Unexpected alliances form. Some students who initially supported Brandon privately apologize to Madison. Not all, but some. One creates a documentary project for his senior thesis, What We Got Wrong at Westbridge. He interviews Madison, Dr. Williams, students from both sides. The documentary wins a regional student film award. It screens at the end-of-year assembly. Students watch themselves from 6 months ago. Some cry, others sit in uncomfortable silence. School culture slowly shifts. Calling out bias becomes socially acceptable, even expected. Students police each other now, not with cruelty, with accountability. A white student makes a racist joke in the cafeteria. 3 of his friends immediately shut it down. "That's not funny. That's not who we are anymore." The student apologizes, genuinely. He's embarrassed. Should be. Madison watches from across the cafeteria. Doesn't intervene, doesn't need to. The system is working, students are learning, change is happening without her constant presence. That's the goal. Sustainable transformation, not dependent on one person. Hayes checks in with Madison weekly. "How are you? What can we improve?" Madison provides feedback. Honest, specific. Hayes implements suggestions quickly. Trust is building. Slowly, but it's there. Madison's story spreads beyond Westbridge. Education activists amplify it. Social justice organizations share it. Military family advocates cite it. The hashtag evolves. Westbridge racism becomes Westbridge reform. The narrative shifts from outrage to possibility. From "look how bad this is" to "look what's possible when institutions commit to change." Other military families come forward with similar stories. Different schools, same patterns, discrimination, ignored complaints, administrative indifference. The Department of Defense launches comprehensive review of all civilian schools receiving military funding. 340 schools nationwide. Madison's complaint opened floodgates nobody knew existed. Many schools panic. Some immediately implement reforms. Others hire expensive consultants to make problems disappear on paper. But the DoD investigators know what to look for now. Thanks to Torres. Thanks to the Westbridge case study. They can distinguish genuine change from public relations. Legal precedent forms. Connecticut state legislature introduces new bill. Media calls it Madison's Law, though that's not the official name. The bill requires all private schools receiving any public funding to maintain third-party bias reporting systems, publish annual equity audits, face financial penalties for ignoring discrimination complaints. Bill gains bipartisan support. Conservatives appreciate accountability. Progressives appreciate civil rights protections. It passes both chambers within 18 months of Madison's assault. Governor signs it at a public ceremony, invites Madison. She attends with her father. "This young woman's courage changed policy," the governor says. "She refused to be silent. She documented injustice. She demanded accountability. Connecticut is better because of her." Madison doesn't give a speech, doesn't want spotlight. She stands beside her father, lets the law speak for itself. James Cooper becomes advocate, testifies before Congressional Subcommittee on Military Family Education, partners with NAACP Education Justice Project, becomes voice for service members whose children face discrimination. "We ask our military members to defend everyone's freedom," he tells Congress. "The least we can do is ensure their children learn in dignity." Madison creates YouTube channel, Documenting While Black. Teaches other teens how to document discrimination legally, how to file complaints, how to build cases. Channel grows to 127,000 subscribers in 6 months. Videos include Know Your Rights at School, How to File Title VI Complaint, Building Your Evidence, When to Involve Lawyers. Comments section fills with stories. Teenagers nationwide facing similar situations. They're learning, documenting, fighting back with evidence instead of just anger. Madison responds to comments when she can, offers advice, connects students with resources, creates community. The movement grows, quietly. One documented incident at a time. One complaint properly filed. One case built with patience and proof. This is how systems change, not overnight, not with one viral video, but with sustained pressure, strategic action, refusal to accept injustice. The core message is clear. Preparation defeats prejudice. James taught Madison to document from day one, not because he expected assault, because he understood systems. He knew that complaints without evidence get dismissed, but evidence demands response. Systems over emotions. They used legal frameworks, federal regulations, Title VI protections, not just public outrage, not just social media pressure. They built a case that couldn't be ignored. Patience as power. 6 months of documentation was tedious, frustrating. Every day Madison wanted to fight back immediately, but her father taught her to wait, to build, to make the case undeniable. Timing mattered. If James had shown up without evidence, he's just an angry parent. With evidence, he's a federal complainant with standing, dignity as resistance. Madison never retaliated with Brandon's tactics, never returned cruelty for cruelty. She maintained composure, gathered papers, stayed calm. Her dignity was her weapon. Community over individualism. The reforms help everyone, not just Madison, not just military students. Every marginalized student at Westbridge benefits from the changes. The personal cost was real. Madison still has hard days. Therapy helps her process trauma. Some students still avoid her. Change makes people uncomfortable. She lost innocence about institutions. She learned that adults don't automatically protect children, that rules exist but aren't always enforced. That justice requires fighting for it. But she gained purpose, voice, proof that fighting back works when done strategically. Father-daughter relationship deepened. James says, "I taught her to stand at attention. She taught me what courage really looks like." They have weekly strategy sessions now. Sacred time. They discuss her channel, her advocacy, her college plans. Madison teaches her father about social media activism. He teaches her about long-term institutional change, mutual learning, mutual respect, final reflection. Madison's words. "Brittany thought crushing my papers would break me. Instead, it built me. Every page I picked up became evidence. Every witness who filmed became my proof. They wanted me silent. I became impossible to ignore." Madison's story isn't unique. It happens in schools, workplaces, public spaces every day. The question is, what will you do about it? Comment below. Have you or someone you know faced discrimination at school? Your voice matters. Silence protects perpetrators. Speaking up protects the next person. Know your rights. Title VI protections apply to all students in schools receiving federal funding. Document everything. Photos, videos, timestamps, witnesses, save communications. File complaints through proper channels. School boards, state education departments, Office for Civil Rights. Subscribe to Black Stories for more stories of quiet resistance and systemic change. Share this video. Let others know they're not alone. Follow Madison's advocacy work at Documenting While Black. Change doesn't start with power. It starts with one person refusing to be silent. Be that person. Your documentation today could be someone else's justice tomorrow. Stand up, speak out, document everything.